Hello, so I'm going to be announcing what should be a pretty interesting restoration project, and it is a Bulgarian M36 helmet. Now, this is a pretty interesting helmet, as you can hopefully see from it. It's kind of a Stahlhelm-like helmet. Basically, I think the history of these was in 1936, Bulgaria wanted a new helmet, and this is the one they came up with, although a lot of them were foreignly sort of made and then imported into Bulgaria. Basically, the closest helmet it is realistically to is the M1916 Stahlhelm, if I'm remembering the name of that right, you know, the German World War I Stahlhelm. But there's a couple of design variations to it, to the skirt, for example. There's a little ridge that runs along the top there. And the helmet was meant to be a bit better than the Stahlhelm in the sense that the angles of the helmet were better, so therefore, you know, rounds or shrapnel were more likely to deflect off the helmet rather than trying to penetrate. Now, unfortunately, in, you know, putting it politely, this helmet was fucking fuckmate big time. So what I've had to do was completely take the liner out and bin it. I'll include some photos to show you just how bad the liner was, because obviously if I get a helmet like this and it's possible to keep the liner, I would much rather keep the original liner. Unfortunately, it was too small for my head, and as I said, it was fucking fucked. In the sense, the leather literally started ripping as soon as you touched it due to its age and being mummified. You know, so much of the helmet was rusty and all that, that literally both the chin strap and the liner had to come out. So, I've got a couple of options for restoring it. Firstly, what I'm going to be doing is, I'll just get the torch and shine it in there so you can hopefully see it. It'll be a bit bright. But what I'm going to be doing is, I'll just put that down in the brightness setting, is basically, first, you know, just trying to get as much rust off the surface as possible, because some of it there is quite rusty, unfortunately. And what I'll be doing is then oiling it or putting some sort of lubricant on once I've got as much of the surface rust off as possible, and then I'll be fitting a new liner. So what I'll be doing to do that is basically just hopefully, for Bart's birthday I got him a Bulgarian M72 helmet. Now it's kind of funny that that's called the M72 and this is the M36, because it's literally, you know, double the number, but I think that was pure coincidence. And the Bulgarian M72 is basically an Italian M33 copy. But what makes it interesting is the liner system for it seems to be almost identical to this one. So what it means is that in theory, because that helmet, the liner's too small for Bart, it's actually just about alright for my head, we should be able to very carefully take the liner out of that helmet, because he needs to replace it anyway, and just literally fit it into this one. Obviously, I would not recommend using this for anything, because due to the levels of rust, I imagine it's very compromised in terms of if anything hit the helmet. But it should be very cool as a prop. If need be, I might end up repainting it as well. What colour to repaint, I don't know. It'd be quite nice to do it as a shade of green like this, but I wouldn't mind, you know, just having like a black or grey kind of Stahlhelm looking helmet with the ridge on it. And as I said, because this helmet was in such poor condition, I don't mind modifying a bit, because, you know, it's not like where you've got a perfectly preserved, pristine, historical helmet and then you rip the fuck out of it. You know, it's a bit like as well with gas masks. If you bought an old gas mask and it was in such bad condition, it's more worth using it for the parts than anything else. So, thankfully, the shell isn't in awful condition, because that's the main bit you buy, obviously, when you go for a helmet. So what I'm going to be doing now is obviously cleaning the rust out, and then there'll be a video in the future, once this is hopefully restored, where you can go, wow, that looks a lot better, or at least it looks somewhat serviceable. So there you go, hopefully that should prove quite interesting to everybody.